Imagine being the first artist in history to claim the entire top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 charts not only once, but twice. As you can see, she did that here with her album Midnights in 2022 and the Torture Poets Department in 2024. Simultaneously, she was also re recording her life's work that was wrongfully stolen from her, while also embarking on the highest grossing tour of all time. Now, that cannot be me or anyone for that matter, but that's Taylor Swift. Now, let's get into it as we talk about how Taylor Swift has impacted the world. First things first, who has heard a Taylor Swift song before? It should be everyone. Whether or not you want to admit it, you've definitely heard a Taylor Swift song before, as she has been in the industry for almost 20 years now. The points that I'll be covering include music evolution, artist rights, and impact. My hope is by the end of this presentation, you have at least a little bit better of an understanding of how and why Taylor Swift is here today. The first point that I'll be entering is music evolution. In 2004, Taylor Swift moved to Nashville to try and start her career in country music. And then 2 years later, in 2006, she released her self-titled debut album. And then a few years later, in 2014, she entered pop and left country for good with her fifth album, 1989. And then flash forward to 6 years later in 2020, she entered another genre, which was folk, and she surprise released two albums, the first one being Folklore and the second being Evermore, which greatly and further showcased her songwriting. Now, these charts, it shows her album sales and her album popularity. As you can see, for her first album, which is the turquoise vinyl, it had 40,000 copies sold in the first week, while 1989, which is right next to it, it had 1.2 million in the first week. And then in the popularity chart, her pop albums tend to be more successful than her country albums in the long run. Now that we've learned about her music evolution, let's get into how she fought for and influenced artist rights, including her very own. According to Time, in 2014, Taylor Swift removed her entire catalog from Spotify and kept it off the platform until 2017 in protest for fair pay for all artists and artist rights. She was also fighting for her own rights in 2019 when her old label, Big Machine Records, wrongfully stole her first 6 albums without her knowledge at all. She then made the bold decision a couple years later to reclaim and re-record those albums, calling them Taylor's versions. So far, she has recreated and released 4 of the 6 albums. By doing that, she also inspired other artists to speak out and take ownership of their own work. Artists such as Kesha, Zara Larsson, and Dua Lipa were influenced by that ownership she took, which is stated by The Guardian. While she greatly reshaped the music industry, her impact extends beyond that as well. Let's take a look at the impact she's made around the world, specifically the last few years. In November 2022, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour tickets went on sale for the first time, and she broke Ticketmaster. Now, this tour, it sold over 10 million tickets on 152 sold-out shows worldwide. It became not only the first tour to surpass $1 billion, but the first tour to surpass $2 billion. Because of her songwriting skills and impact, she also got college classes named after her. Some of those universities are Harvard and NYU, Duke, and Stanford. which can be seen on the individual college websites. On top of that, she also impacted the NFL and boosted the economy. Because of her Eras Tour, she boosted local economies from fans buying merchandise, dining, travel, and much more, which can be seen in this first chart here, which also shows that she gets honorary titles because of her impact in each city. And then she also impacted the NFL when in late summer 2023, she started dating Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce and then attended his first game in September 2023, which increased the female viewership and just viewership in general for that matter. And the merch and jersey sales and then just income to the NFL and the team in general. As you can see in this chart on the right, the 2024 Super Bowl had the highest female viewership in the NFL since the year 2000 because of her appearance. Now that you've heard about some of the impact she's made over the years and around the world and in the music industry, let's get to the conclusion. So some of the things I want you to remember is Taylor Swift's remarkable musical evolution, her inspiring influence on artists' rights and the music industry, and then her economic impact that can be seen across the world. Now I'm going to leave you with this quote, which is by Taylor Swift herself. Anything you put your mind to and add your imagination into can make your life a lot better and a lot more fun. Basically, just do whatever you want, despite any criticism or backlash it may get. And now, here are my references, all the references I used. And thank you so much for listening.